Was I here last time?
Was any of us?
I don't remember.
We're
So yeah, let's see. Last time, what's her face got electro-faced in the face.
I feel like I wasn't here for that. I feel like I would remember Electroface.
Save almost 100.
We were transporting people off the ship,
Well, Duval will
and
do
she
the
like turned her body
best.
into a
Prognosis isn't very encouraging.
conduit for the electric.
Oh yeah,
energy.
we're like, fucking hold on, I don't give a shit. And then she died.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's okay.
I feel horrible about the whole thing. I just hope she'll forgive me.
Our crew expects us to protect them. It's always hard on us when we can't.
Commander Rydek, I heard what you did. The sacrifice you made for our sake. You saved not only my life, but the lives of my crew. An incredibly heroic deed.
I don't like his facial
Almost
hair.
hit us.
All of Lydia is in your debt. We cannot thank you enough.
Just doing our duty.
Yeah, his hair is a
I'm sure you
little
understand. If you'll excuse us.
bit pointy.
Of course.
How are we getting our away team back?
Ambassador Spock and the rest of the senior staff are waiting.
So yeah, to recap,
to discuss just that.
the Elydian ship was about
I
to
wanted a
attack
chance for you and I to speak first, given the circumstances.
the Hotari. Then it suddenly shut down
While protocol might
and
suggest
lost
we alert
life support,
Starfleet
so we
about
went
our
and beamed
situation,
everybody off.
missing crew, the data breach,
And then it suddenly turned back on and flew off
I think we're better off
with
keeping
our
this
away
story
team still on it.
under
So
our
the
control.
party has now been split. One protagonist is on the ship, the other protagonist is here.
And what is at stake for you too? I can't afford another mission gone wrong.
I mean, that's a pretty standard Star Trek plot device, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to raise a false alarm just yet. But I have every confidence we can wrap this up before it gets any worse than it
I
already.
do like that we have the option here to just stay. It's not about you, dude. No. Which I'm going to pick.
I'm sorry, Captain, but this isn't about you. The lives of everyone who wears a uniform are at stake.
I don't see it that way.
No, you.
Wow.
On our
What a compelling argument.
Is there any update on our efforts to trace the Zeldy's warp signature?
Unfortunately, no.
What if how about no is always a great thing to hear from your boss.
Their trajectory.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned about what went with them. A Taconian energy source.
Sidron referred to it as the Cartabula.
Yes, I've been analyzing your tricorder scans. This.
So does the Cartabula have anything to do with
Energy
maps?
source on record. It disabled our ability to warp and likely create.
We have to find that
It
ship.
might, actually, now that you mention
Anywhere
it.
by now.
Literally anywhere.
Don't bring
The
Starfleet
Hotari
into
must
this.
know where the ship is headed.
If you can even call them Hotari at this point.
Whoever they are, they've cut off all communication.
Oh yeah, we also discovered that people are being bioformed by the
Takan also
Takan
compromised our
people
systems when
or
Officer
something.
Mara stole data from our computer core.
Like pod peopled or mind controlled? What do
no,
you mean?
like more like Borg assimilation, really.
Starfleet needs to know about this.
We're not contacting
That feels
Starfleet
kinda
until
like
we
mind
understand
control.
the situation.
Yeah, I mean it is mind control,
They
basically.
stole our data. That's reason enough to warn Starfleet.
But the captain does have a point. It might be better to wait until we know more.
We shouldn't take any chances.
What?
At least alert
You're just trying to
Starfleet
piss
that
off
our
the
system
captain
is
now.
compromised.
I agree with Commander
I
Ryan.
mean, should we just not tell them that, like, hey, we found these, like, this
And essentially tell them this mission
crazy,
is
super
failure.
powerful technology,
No,
and somebody stole the brains of our crew?
not on my ship. I want to speak.
Oh,
with Hotari
Spock-
and get to the bottom of
Wait,
this
is Spock
before we
here?
get Starfleet involved.
I expect we'll meet resistance. The Hotari think we
Is he with the
violated
away
their
team?
ground
'Cause that'd be
rules in
hilarious.
their minds. Assuming the negotiations are off.
I thought he
we won't have an
left.
official role here.
We still have a responsibility to the Hotari and the
The
Elydians.
Takan are a threat to both their civilizations.
No. They're a threat to us all.
Oh my god.
Dun
The
dun
device
dun.
Commander Rydick found in the console
That was-
is an advanced delivery mechanism.
Man,
Complex biogenetic
Why is half of her screen not working? That's really bothering me.
I don't know. Because
Not only
she
are
needed
they
to stand in front of it.
and hosts, transforming them into Takan. They're taking the DNA
Oh, that
and
reminds me
informatic
of-
data of a specific Draconian and displacing
A funny production detail that became very obvious when they released like the Blu-ray up-res re-release of Star Trek: The Next Generation,
to life.
Is the person eliminated?
One.
which is
What happens to the host?
especially early
hard
on,
to say.
they had problems
Some
where
of
the
their
back
members
panels on the
intact.
bridge were like
The
really
implanted
reflective, so
Draconian
they'd sometimes like show production
appears to
equipment.
have full
So they just
In
got
time,
black
that
cardboard
means
squares that they tape over stuff in the
One
back
victim at a time.
so that it wouldn't reflect and show the like the boom mics or the cameras or whatever.
flame.
And those weren't really visible in like broadcast on television in 1987, but they are now.
So we know this about those scions.
That's amazing.
They're dangerous.
The Takan have crossed a line.
Oh, Spock is
Oh,
here.
he's here.
However,
I went for the
Spock,
rest of the
forgot you're on
game.
the ship.
offered
For the rest of the game, there will just be dialogue scenes that just, even with establishing shots where there's no
just
Spock,
creepy
and just
walks and
randomly
appears.
exactly, just like you'll cut the Spock at random and be like, oh yeah, Spock's here.
What if there are no Hotari left? If Galvin and Sidron were Takan, who else? The Queen?
I think we would know if that were the case. We'll take every precaution.
With the Cartabula gone, I can confirm we have regained warp capability and the use of our transporters.
Excellent. Commander Ermot, see if we can arrange a meeting on Hotari as soon as possible. As Ambassador Spock suggested, under the pretense of an apology.
Aye, Captain.
Nice work, everyone.
You know, the most fantastical thing about Star Trek is how like every meeting has like actionable tasks coming out of them.
Oh yeah, there's none of them are like, well, I guess we don't really know what we're doing.
Okay, it is a little weird to me that the beds on the Starfleet ship are large enough to maintain a 9-foot tall person. Like, it feels weird that they would have a bed ready to...
I mean, Starfleet has aliens in it.
But she needs her rest.
Yeah, but like the
Under Rydick?
body type diversity in Star Trek is very limited historically.
I thought I heard.
Yeah,
that
it's almost like what normal people would fit into.
Well, I mean, obviously the reality is because it's the budget, but I hate that the fact that there's a canon reason that like every humanoid species descends from the same genetic background. I hate that. That episode makes me so mad. That I just consider that
It was a
non-canon. I
good
just erased.
idea.
For what happened.
Like the core of
I heard
it
that
was an
last transport
interesting
made it
idea,
through.
but it was not
That was our mission. To save lives.
ultimately executed very well.
I'm glad it was
Well,
a success.
part of the problem is that like it works when you're talking about, you know,
She can get me
Klingons, Romulans, humans, a handful of other species, like that are all vaguely physically similar. It works, but the longer Star Trek goes on and the cheaper CGI gets, the more you get games and comics and stuff that an animated series that can do wacky species.
But this is all.
The harder your universe is to support that basically all sentient life descends from one DNA virus or whatever it was that they gave to a bunch of
I wouldn't
species.
be surprised if you came back better than you ever were.
I just want to be able to see again. That's
Also,
all.
it does the weird thing where, like, instead of simply finding similarities in our differences, it's like, no, actually, like, we're all genetically related. It's all the other species that suck.
Check in on you soon. I promise.
Well, I think the implication was that it was everybody basically, and the point was to give an explanation as to why everyone looks like humans with prosthetic ridges on their heads.
Right, but that's just lampshading, like,
Yeah.
what was at the time a
I
limitation.
don't
that
feel
is-
like, like ultimately, I don't think it was something that needed to be explained. And the episode itself is fine. It's just like the explanation kind of falls on its face when you think about it for more than a few minutes.
I was relieved you called him out on it. You've spent enough time with him now.
Oh, we're plotting the mutiny now.
If there's something wrong, as the ship's doctor, I need to know. Don't you?
You need to know as a ship's doctor? No, you need to know what the pee samples are like.
Well, I mean, like, that was a thing. McCoy threatened to relieve Kirk a couple times, didn't he?
Stress of this mission is getting to him. He has so much riding.
Especially that bit where Kirk's, like, evil side took over.
I'm concerned he'll do something rash to ensure it.
When he got, like, split into two people.
Eye on this. And I want to be clear.
Kirk and Cork.
About Solano, I really do. I've been suspected for years. There are more
Or,
important
Riker had a
things
twin.
Defending an old friend.
Oh, yeah.
He still does. Isn't he still alive? Isn't that canon that like there's
Yeah.
two Rikers in universe walking around? That's crazy.
Yeah, they're both in Starfleet.
Jara.
I think.
Well, actually, in Deep Space Nine, he joins the Maquis and steals the Defiant.
How's your wound?
No, come on.
And ends up in a Cardassian labor camp. So he's
Is he
probably
gonna be
dead.
okay? No.
Thank you.
He
He's out
never
there
comes up again.
My headcanon
He
is he
could
got
have
off.
survived.
Wonders of your technology.
He's doing space pirate stuff in deep space.
Mattered if you'd left me for
Boimer's fucking clone is out there
should be
somewhere
thanking you.
killing dudes
You
for
took
no
that
reason.
injector shot for me. Without you, I might be the
Oh
one
yeah, that's right. He's not
or
dead
worse.
anymore.
Yeah, he's secret Star Trek.
Yeah.
elite squad.
I won't forget it.
So the whole vibe that I get from these two is like vaguely romantic, and I feel like I'm not the only person that's getting that. But it's so slightly developed in this game. I honestly can't tell if that was just an accident or they actually intended it that way.
It's hard to accept that everything I thought I knew, so much was a lie. The horror of that underneath our feet the entire time.
It's always better to know. No matter how awful, the truth is better than living with a lie.
I am coming around to that thinking as well.
I don't know if this game did well enough to generate a lot of slash fic.
What is it?
Oh no, probably not, but...
They haven't found us.
I do like that, like the ability to zoom in through the force field on the docking bay, stuff like that you can't really do in the TV shows. I like it.
No idea when or
I mean, you
if
can
the
do it
Resurgence is gonna catch
now.
up.
Sort of a running joke is that Discovery always has its shuttle bay doors open for some reason.
You got somewhere we could do that?
But certainly, like, classic, like, TNG Star Trek, not something you would see very much of. I remember, actually, there was a shot in one episode of Voyager where they did, like, a zoom in from the ship to, like, Janeway's ready room, and it was, like, a big deal. It's like, oh, this is a really cool shot. Now it's like, you could do that really easily. It's no big deal at all.
Blow a hole in the ship. Better be careful.
Yeah, it's hard back then without a ton of digital compositing to align the cameras and make it look good without either having Janeway's ready room slipping and sliding. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If you've never watched a Star Trek, people who are watching this video for some reason, even though you've never seen a Star Trek, what are you doing here? What the fuck are you... Anyway, look at the original series Klingon, and then look at Next Generation Klingon, and then you will understand the technical limitations that they had early on.
We'll disable them.
How? They're too high to reach, even for me.
Go watch, The Devil in the Dark, the one with the silicon monster alien that drills through walls and stuff and eats people.
Nick and I were watching some old, I think it was like a Western or something, and they had fake rocks, and I got so fucking pumped, and I couldn't figure out why, and then I remembered that Star Trek fans love fake rocks more than anything on this planet.
Hurry, Carter!
We love fake rock.
Only one left.
Where is the last one?
Is it there? Yeah.
This interface is not making it easy to see these things.
Is that a force field? Wouldn't it?
It's a scanning beam.
Oh.
It worked. They won't be able to detect us.
That buys us some time.
Now that the Zeldi has its...
I like the idea that in the Star Trek universe you could theoretically have a security system where, like, instead of a Resident Evil style laser grid that chops you up, you could just activate a force field across like 4 things on rollers and just bring the force field down and crush anything in the room.
Miranda only saw us transport away. She probably thinks we're back on the Resolute.
Does this chick have a little worm in her brain telling her what to do?
Don't give up on her yet, Carter.
Like Jax?
No, she was trapped, watching it happen.
No, actually, that's a plot point that she feels like people who get joined with symbiotes, like, fundamentally change as people and aren't the same people anymore, and she hates it.
Oh, I see.
It never hurts to hold on.
We'll get that explanation. Maybe in these episodes?
I know it looks bad, but
might be the next session.
We're gonna get her back. I won't let her go. I know it seems like we could never trust her again. But maybe there's a way to turn her back, and Miranda could help us stop.
Well, now I want like a breakdown of Trill society, because that sounds interesting. That there's like
just because the Trill joining is permanent doesn't.
Yeah, how come some are allowed to not feel that way? Right?
So there are far fewer symbionts than there are Trill like humanoids. So to be joined with a symbiont, you have to like go through a whole process, and it's basically like getting a PhD of just training to join with one of them. And so most Trill don't actually have them.
It's just one life.
Oh, I thought it was like a symbiote farm kind of scenario. That's interesting.
You don't get to ignore the truth.
We don't like this any more than you do.
Yeah, weirdly it's like the opposite, where everyone really vies to get the symbiote, and it's like a highly vaunted role in society. But like,
yeah,
I do like the idea of an anti-Trill civilization where like the people just exist to be. I feel like Star Trek had to have done that, right? Like where people exist just to be pod people for some symbiote that actually takes them over.
Well, I mean, there was the season 1 TNG episode Conspiracy where
I didn't see that.
They're closing down systems faster
a bunch of similar brain worms get into people and like they take over Starfleet and eat mealworms menacingly while laughing.
Yeah, don't watch season 1.
I guess you could also make the argument that the Borg are effectively that, where biological life just exists to the Borg to be consumed.
Using a senior officer's
Yeah.
access code to lock down our systems from the bridge. The Takan must have
This is harder than it looks. What the fuck? I don't remember this being as bad with the last time I played through it.
Would you rather be assimilated or have a little worm in your brain telling you what to do?
I can see the course they
Like a Jadzia Dax Trill style situation, or
yeah. Or
not
Borg.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Atari Space.
No, not the Baldur's Gate 3 worm, because I don't know how that one works exactly. I haven't got there yet.
Zeldi. That's where we are.
That's not exactly news.
I'd have to go with the Trill.
Lydian fleet has explored a lot of systems.
Like, because it's a
Borg's got
joining
better
of two
community,
Direction of where we're going.
You know.
Yeah, like, are we talking about like
Headed to the
you still retain some free will or something with the worm, or is it like a worm that turns you into
if we keep going, we'll leave
a vessel for its consciousness?
Do you have free will when you join with the little symbiote?
Turn this ship around.
At all?
I mean, it's implied that it's a true joining in the sense that like two individual identities become one new identity.
Federation is at risk.
Yeah,
and they have the memories of each, but it's sort of a conjoined identity.
Real for the people who are trapped in their own bodies controlled by
yeah, that sounds better than the Borg.
You can't just turn your
Yeah, I mean, like if that's it, if it's a gold situation where the worm just takes over your body.
The Borg. You can reverse the Borg. So like if I was being invaded by one or the other, Borg is the better way to go, because eventually you can get rid of it.
It's fairly easy to get rid of it once you're like away from the collective.
Yeah.
So that we don't end up so far away that the Resolute can't ever catch up to us.
I mean, we're making some key assumptions about the like exultation and joys of being a completely individual free being as part of a hive mind.
What's this? It's a data stream.
Yeah, maybe it's pretty fucking cool to be a Borg.
Let me see if I could...
I'm just saying we don't know, right? Like, as a series of individuals, we're very protective of our individuality. But, like, what if you plug me into the Borg and I'm like, holy shit, I know everything, I see everything, and I have infinite belonging among a greater collective of beings in which I will live for eternity. That's kind of rad in its own way, right? Even if it means a complete loss of autonomy and individual will.
It's basically like Maple Story when you're 13. You guys ever play Maple Story?
What's that?
I have
I don't know
not.
if I ever played Maple Story. I played Mabinogi for a minute.
Oh, dork. Dork alert.
I had a friend who was into it.
And if we can get free, I think we'll be able to overpower them.
Your first, like, AOL chat room? Is that what it's like being with the Borg? Because that fucking ruled. I was in a Smallville chat room. Shout out to the Smallville chat room at AOL.com.
You shouldn't trust anyone else you meet.
God, I forgot how old that series is now.
Transforming people on the ship.
Remember ASL? Remember that when that was a thing you would ask people in chat rooms?
It's only a matter of
Oh
time
my
before any of
god.
the crew are turned against us.
And then you'd lie
Have to
about
come
it.
and help us.
Oh yeah,
When
totally. You
people-
never answered truthfully.
Like, actually said Pone.
your comrade?
It's Itasca. You're going to have to
Did
trust
they?
I know Lieutenant.
I mean,
I don't remember
yeah.
Pone.
That's her.
I don't remember
Clear
Pone.
and not under duress beyond our current circumstances.
I feel like this ties into our cringy gamer shirts from like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
I keep bringing it back.
Because like I don't think
It was
anyone.
real bad there in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I don't remember anyone earnestly using Pone that wasn't trying to be an obnoxious troll.
And we'll free you from the ATP.
We'll be ready and waiting, sir.
The fact that I still
may
go
not
by
know the
my, like,
computer
gamer
very well,
tag
but I
is
know
kind of
every
cringe if you
inch of
think
this
about
ship.
it.
I can get us there safely through the back rooms.
It is very funny to me that, like, everyone's usernames from 2001 are now just, like, permanently attached to their identity.
I'm gonna forsake Campster, and from now on, I want you all to call the user 347928.
Assimilate, assimilate.
Don't mind if I do.